Welcome to Instant Replay Live. We're playing on an Xbox.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, who's that? Who are you?
I'm Josh.
Whoa! Josh is here, and we're playing on his Xbox, and we're playing Turtles in Time Reshelled.
Because
we heard it was bad, but Josh wants to stand up for this remake.
I do. I think that this is a quality port of the original arcade game.
Nice. So we played the original arcade game actually recently on Mom Can I Have Another Dollar, the Trouble Planet arcade show. And now we're going to do this one for us, so there can be a good compare and contrast. We've got it fresh in our minds. I am playing Donatello, I should say.
I am Raphael.
I'm playing Michelangelo
Like a boss.
Gosh, I will say, like, it's very true in the arcade game and this one. Way more enemies than the SNES version had when I was growing up. Like, they have totally jacked. Oh god,
so far
my
it
mic
feels
real bad.
perfectly like the arcade game though.
Yeah, like game feel.
It's slicker obviously in animation because there's full sets of animations going on, but like the
Well, there's pretty good animation in that arcade one too.
No, I know, but you can see everything. Like
Yeah.
it's a very you got 3D models having full character paths.
There's definitely a lot of flicker in that old one.
But that's also kind of one of the cool things about Pixel. Like, everything feels much more intense and impacting when it's like got that cartoon style animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the cell shading here is pretty good. The characters themselves, I feel, are
Guys up here.
good recreations of the arcade.
Oh,
Ouch.
That's an exploded bomb.
It is.
I guess I'll eat this pizza.
It's good timing. That didn't do the spinning pizza time though on that one. Is that later in the level?
That's a different one. That's the bomb.
That's later in the level, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a bomb or if it's something else here, but
Well, in the SNES version, it's a bomb.
yeah, in the arcade version originally it was a bomb as well, I think.
Well, yeah, in the SNES I think it's actually like a little weird glass dome. But I don't know what that's supposed to be.
It's coming up, so we'll find out in a second.
Yeah, well, yeah, in this one, yeah. Because let's just keep talking about other versions while we play.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's interesting because we've all played now. I think all 3 versions. I hadn't played the arcade version until recently when we played the Trouble
Oh,
Planet.
yeah?
But well, actually, that's not true. I guess I played it in once in the actual arcade. But,
Yeah, like at the skating rink, which is the
yeah,
classic
it was
place to play. Skating rink or bowling alley, one of the two.
I played it in an arcade.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of access to actual arcades. We had like one mall that we would go to.
We had Regal.
That's a movie theater?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had like one mall we would go to a little bit when I was very young, and then maybe a little bit after Joe was born, that had an arcade. But like, I didn't get a lot of time and a lot of quarters in that arcade, unfortunately. And then I remember a church trip where I blew $40 because we stopped for lunch at a mall, and they were like, well, we want to give people a chance to, like, all the kids a chance to go and, explore the mall or whatever. So we'll be here for like 2 hours, and then we'll all have lunch together. And I was a 14-year-old boy, maybe, with no
$40
interest
in your pocket?
Yeah, with $40 in my pocket and no interest in
Shopping.
Yeah, so that money was gone in 2 hours. I played so many arcade games and had nothing to show for it at the end other than the memory.
I mean,
Which is worth it.
I didn't know it was gonna be there. I did go to a mall recently that had an arcade in it.
That's awesome.
One actually not too far from location, but it's not too far from you, Josh.
Yeah. There's an arcade there.
I played the Death Star Assault.
Nice.
So good. It's just like nice on rails, blowing up TIE fighters. It's just a great. Star Wars has some of the best villains to blow up.
Can I just comment how, like, ever since I was a child, how brutal this fight seemed when, like, everybody gangs up on this poor guy. He's down on the ground, and you just all surround him and just beat him mercilessly.
I thought you were going to say it was a hard fight, and I was like, well,
No, this is one of the easy fights, obviously, but...
He switches over to the glue gun in a second, and that's when you gotta be careful. All the fights are like that, though.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, that's true. But it just, like, in particular, Baxter Stockman feels like such a weak character. Like, he's a scientist. He's not really, like, a big enemy in the cartoons, you know? Like a powerful enemy. And we just have, like, 3 teenagers just beating him with weapons. Like,
I mean, that's a good lesson for all teenagers. Please beat up more scientists.
Yeah, especially with weapons.
They're trying to spread lies about global warming. We need teenagers to save the day from global warming.
Is he done, or are they going to go into an alternate mode or something?
Yep, he's done.
He's done.
He's got those little death flickers.
I don't know about your setups, but I'm slightly worried there's going to be more clicking of the controller from me on this than there's ever been on an Instant Replay Live episode.
Oh, mine's way down here. I don't think it'll be a problem.
I can't. I have like no room down there, so I'm like trying to hold my controller to the left of my body, like keep it away from the mic as much as possible.
I got my controller jammed into my crotch.
Oh,
That's
cool.
where a controller belongs.
Is it?
Nice and safe in
I
your
mean,
crotch.
that way you got the third appendage to press buttons.
Yeah.
The movement in 3D space is definitely like you can attack at diagonals here. That's interesting.
Well, you could also do that on the SNES version and the arcade version. You could like move up while it didn't look like your animation was doing it, but you could dive kick upwards.
All the enemies were on a plane.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
And like in this, the enemies are in a 3D space, so that is very different.
I don't know. It feels functionally like the hits feel the same though.
It's very similar, but I don't know if I would say the same. I definitely feel like I can slide through layers on the 3D axis, I guess, and hit things in different positions.
I mean, I think one of the things that makes Turtles in Time, the older version, stand out so well is that the gameplay itself is really tight.
Oh yeah!
Both versions.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh,
Hitboxes
solid.
were great, and man, I love slamming dudes back and left and right.
Yes.
I love slamming dudes.
That's you.
I love banging dudes.
What I've always heard about you.
It had such a good pedigree for like arcade beat 'em ups, though.
Yeah.
And now, when you say that, what do you mean exactly?
I mean that it was like
Don't you
third
know
or
that?
fourth generation arcade beat 'em up game.
Sure.
So like they had figured out the formula by then, and they had a license that was ready and ripe with enemies to fight and just beat the crap out of.
Yeah. I want them to bring Ninja Turtles back to the Marvel Universe with Matt Murdock with Daredevil on Netflix.
When I found out that connection was a legit thing, like blew my mind.
Well, it's very like loosely legit.
But it was
though.
the creators of Ninja Turtles that were like all about it, right?
Yeah, they were super into
You should
Daredevil.
explain it, actually.
All right,
'Cause I don't
sure.
think everybody knows that.
Yeah, so Ninja Turtles started by fans who were people who were big fans of Daredevil, and the origin story for the Ooze is the same truck accident that gives Matt Murdock his like super hearing and blinds him and everything. Falls into the sewer and creates the Ninja Turtles. So the very same incident that creates Daredevil creates the Ninja Turtles, and it was like it was everything but expressly stated in the original Ninja Turtles comics. But then later, Marvel actually bought the Ninja Turtles comics, so technically Ninja Turtles are part of Marvel, even though you never see them in any context, because they're not in the same universe. It's just a property.
It's not whatever the normal 646 or
Yeah.
whatever world Marvel lives in.
Yeah, but now that Marvel owns, Ninja Turtles, and of course they own Daredevil, in theory we could, have Daredevil suddenly get an extra crossover guest next season.
All right, so I don't know. I haven't honestly watched Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles movies. I don't really care to.
I haven't.
Can I tell you guys what my dream Ninja Turtles director is?
Please.
Guillermo del Toro.
Oh man, creepy turtles that aren't like unintentionally creepy.
Yeah.
They're just like straight up creepy turtles.
And awesome. You
Yeah.
can have.
Orange, Michelangelo, go get yourself some pizza.
Oh yeah. Actually, probably should save it for
All right,
when the
dude.
boss does a little more damage. That's okay. This boss isn't too bad. Bang bang boom, bang bang boom. Ouch,
It is-
you punched me in my face.
It's funny. We did a lot of compare and contrast of my memories of the SNES version during the arcade play. But now, like, my most recent memory is the arcade version.
Yeah.
So I can't compare and contrast, which is good, actually. I don't need to rehash the same commentary.
I don't know. I definitely played through the SNES version not too long ago myself. So
It's been a couple years for me, but it was still, like, it was burned in.
Fresh.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you,
But now
man,
I've got something overwritten it. overwritten it?
It's so weird how playing on console feels so much different from like playing on an emulator. But I spent years only doing SNES games on emulator.
Oh, yeah. God,
And then
the game feel is totally
wow,
the
we
control feel.
nailed that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, we banged him.
We did.
It's weird to me that I feel like, honestly, and maybe it's because I was a young person, but I feel like the arcade play enemies are easier. They're more numerous for the foot soldiers, but they're easier to beat the bosses on the arcade than they were on the SNES.
I mean, they weren't that hard on the SNES either.
Well,
Some of them were. Some of them.
I'm going to pause it here
Oh, sure.
because we're rounding up, and it's no point in starting a new episode. You were saying, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, Slash is the only boss I think I ever had. And then I learned the trick to Slash, getting behind him.
But he won't be in this version.
I know.
What a disappointment.
So cool.
Now we've spoiled that for everyone. Next time on Instant Replay Live, more turtles, but not Slash.
Nick.
Wow, wow. Really kick it. Kick
Yo,
it.
plans, free stroke, Sonic Golf.
Sonic Golf.